right near the beach. Boy!
What up, nigga? So, alright. I was cleaning up some shit in my house and I found this, right? This is a list of my fears, right? And I wrote this in 2016. I don't know exactly like the month or anything, but I wrote this in 2016. Uh, Number one is being alone, right? At that time in my life, I was just coming out of what I like to call my second childhood because I spent my whole 20s just being a fucking dickhead and doing drugs. And I just was coming to the realization that, like, yo, like, if my fucking parents died or if my sisters aren't around, like, I'm gonna be fucked because I'm not, mentally prepared to be a fucking man and live my life, 5 years later, I kind of still feel the fucking same. Like, I'm much more mentally prepared to be a man, etc. But that fear of just having no one to rely on or to talk to or to have care about me is definitely still there. And I'm not sure what to do about it. My second fear that I have listed here is my dad dying. I still struggle with that, and it's not just my dad, it's like my mother and my father. Like, it's more my dad because, well, it was more my dad at this time because he's who raised me. But in these last few years, me and my mother have built a very powerful connection, and I think that the pain will be equally deep, if not more painful, when she checks. And I don't know of any way to deal with something like that. The third thing that I have listed here is failure. Now, this is difficult for me because at that time, my definition of failure was different than what it is now. Like, I was thinking just financial failure. Like, so much of my life has been spent just trying to prove my worth to my father or prove my worth to myself, but my self-worth was, man, my self-worth was based on my father's measuring stick. Pause. So now that my self-worth is not so much dependent on his opinion and his point of view, uh, my fear of failure is just like, it's still present, and it's because that it's because I have this thing in my mind where I'm supposed to be the patriarch of my family. I'm supposed to be that. Like, I still think that has to do with my father and who he was to my family, but yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to be the patriarch of my family, and I'm not right now, and it fucking kills me. So, alright. Number four, not being able to right past wrongs. When I wrote it, this had a lot to do with one of my ex-girlfriends. I loved her very, very much, and we did not work out, and at the time, I placed 90% of the blame on myself. I still place majority of the blame on myself for that relationship, but it wasn't all me, and a lot of things were just us not being where we needed to be mentally or spiritually to really love another person and grow with another person. Shout out to her. What the fuck number am I on? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 is being broke. That is still one of my number one fears. It doesn't control me as much as it used to because I recognize my power. I understand how to make money. I have multiple sources of income, and I have supreme confidence in myself to make money. So it's not as much of a fear as it was in 2016 when I was just coming into my fucking real adulthood and my real adult mind and thoughts. But it's always there. Once you've been poor, homeless, come home to no electricity or no food, or once that happens, you know, repeatedly, you turn into a different person, and that shit is always in the back of your mind, always. Number 6, being homeless again. This is not so much of a fear as it was in 2016 because I've already done it. I've already been homeless and I survived it and made something of myself post being homeless, you know? So I don't foresee myself ever being there again, but if I am, I know that I'll be able to climb out of that hole relatively quickly because, again, I recognize who I am, I recognize my power and my mental ability, you know? Number 7 is going back to jail. This is a forever fear. This is like PTSD type shit. I see police and instantly, instantly get to check in my pockets, making sure I don't have any drugs. Instantly just get, just get a little wave of emotion just from seeing a fucking police officer. He ain't got to be on my ass. He ain't got to be pulling me over. He ain't got to be doing nothing but standing. And I get a little wave of emotions because they've kidnapped me several times, Number 8, not being loved. Now, I'm not 100% certain if I still have this fear or not. And I probably should have put more thought into this before I started this video. But yeah, I'm not so sure if I still have that fear. Like, because I'm kind of jaded. Like, so many people have shown me that the love wasn't real or the love was conditional, that now I don't even know what love is. I don't even know if that exists. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's just contracts, social contracts. Actually, I am sure because recently I've had some experiences that let me know that my family fucking loves me and it has nothing to do with social contracts. So I retract that. But as far as people outside of my relatives, I'm not sure if love is a real thing. Next up is giving love to someone who does not love me back. This comes from that same relationship that I was fresh out of at the time, or at the tail end of, I can't remember. And I felt like in that relationship I was giving 100% of myself, all of my love to this person, and it was not being reciprocated to the level that I needed it to be reciprocated. Now I realize that neither of us really knew how to love. Neither of us. Like, I didn't. It was more of obsession and possession on my end, and on her end, from my perspective, I think that it was obsession and being in love with the potential of me rather than my current self. I think that she was in love with who I am right now 5 years later and not that nigga who I was 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? She was in love with my potential. Again, shout out to her. Next up here on the list is people won't like my true self. Now, this is my favorite here on the list because now I don't give a fuck. Like, I used to be so worried, like, about people disliking me or me coming off a certain way. Now I don't give a fuck. Like, as a black person, I have to have multiple personalities. I have to have a certain personality to go to work because I can't be myself at work because the people that are in charge don't accept my true self, Then when I'm in certain areas like the hood, I have to be another way. If I'm in jail, I have to be another way. If I'm whatever, I have to have, and I'm sure that that's not just a black thing, that's an everyone thing. But my point is, as a black man, I have to have a few extra personalities, than the average person of another race. I have to have a few extra personalities that those people don't even think about because they don't have to have those experiences, But now I'm just me. I don't care. I've been in Tennessee 2 years. I've had probably almost 10 jobs because I'm not going to be on some subservient black man shit. I'm not going to be on some yes sir. I'm not going to let my fucking manager call me Bubba to my face. My name is Stanley Atkinson, my man, not fucking Bubba. Get it right or get smacked in your fucking mouth on camera. I don't care. You know? This one is still a major fear for me, and I pray about this. I keep this at the top of my mind so that I never go through this again. And I have it written here, getting lost in drugs again. I started off doing pills, and from the day I did pills to my end of my drug career was about 7 years, and 5 of those years I was on heroin. And the person that I was at that time was not a good person and didn't care about being a good person, you know? So when people tell me now that I'm not a good person, I'm just like, bro, you have no fucking clue. You have no clue. You have no clue. This isn't really a fear anymore because I know, again, as I've stated before in this video, I know myself. I know my power. I recognize myself. I don't foresee myself getting lost in drugs again. I still do drugs. I like drugs. But not the same drugs that I was doing because they're too much. They're too powerful. And I recognize that I can never go back to that person because that person was evil, man. I was an evil person for a long time. And I can never go back to that. And my last one on this list is, I don't know if y'all can see it, heights. Ain't nothing I can do about that. I don't fuck with heights. I'm not getting on no roof. I'm not getting on no scaffolding. None of that shit. Scaffold, whatever that shit is called. None of that shit. But yeah, I just thought this was a super interesting list. Like, and I wanted to talk about, you know, the shit that I just talked about. I'm trying to scratch all this off the list and not be afraid of anything. I don't know if that's possible for human beings, but I'm surely gonna try. If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much. Yeah.